Hey, what's up, guys? It's Bakes here, back again with one of my music album shelf by shelf episodes. This time we are doing shelf number two. Yeah, let's get into it because these normally take a little while anyway. So, the first album that we have here is Daisy Chain by the band Slowly Slowly. I talk about this band a lot on my channel. I'm massive on them, especially over the past handful of years. They've just grown on me so much. Just a really cool Australian band, and this is actually my favourite album by them. I actually have a tattoo representing this album. That's how much I like it. Dark Horse by Nickelback. I covered this in shelf number one when I spoke about another one of their albums, but you know, they're a band that gets hate, but I think they genuinely make some fun, cool music. The Tourer by the band Boston Manor. This is a shorter album actually. It's like 7 songs, but for being so short, yeah, it's actually pretty solid. I like The Tourer a bit. Death of a Bachelor by Panic at the Disco. I mean, this is past Panic's best work, you know. I'm also a fan of their earlier stuff, you know, Fever and, you know, some of those earlier albums, Vices and Virtues. But with that being said, it's still okay. I don't hate it. The Death of Slim Shady, otherwise known as Coup de Grace by Eminem. I know when this album came out, a lot of people were quite split on it. But over the past handful of years, more people have come forward and said, like, you know, they're actually not massive on it. You know, with all that being said, I actually like this album a fair bit. I think when you compare it to, you know, a lot of his newer stuff, like, it's pretty good quality. Disease by Beartooth. This is an album I used to not like as much as I do now. It's grown on me over time, just the more I've listened to it, so that's good. But it's still nothing in comparison to their debut album being disgusting. I just think this album is so good. And that's one thing that you'll hear me say with a lot of their other albums, you know, like, this album was just such a good way to start off their careers. Like, it just sort of makes everything else seem lesser in comparison, which is, you know, it's a catch-22 kind of. Distance by the band With Confidence. This is their EP, so only 5 songs. I remember I came across this one in like a secondhand store and I picked it up because I didn't even know there was a physical release of this EP, and I wasn't massive on it, but I'm glad I picked it up because, you know, it's just cool to have. Does This Look Infected by Sum 41? I spoke about their debut album All Killer No Filler in the last shelf series, and you know, you could honestly flip a coin on which album's better, but I think this one is kind of underrated for the majority of people. Don't You Feel Amazing by the band Trash Boat. I almost forgot the name of this album for a second, but I don't know how, because this could be Trash Boat's best album. Like, it's just really solid. Really underrated song on here is Cannibal. Really cool track. Next up, we have Dookie by Green Day. Pretty much whenever I pull out a Green Day album, I'm not really going to say much that you already don't know. This album's really cool, super iconic, a lot of fans, so yeah, Dookie, awesome. Double Dare by the band Waterparks. Waterparks are like such a cool band. Like, they've been so underrated, you know, with me speaking about them. Like, I wish I spoke about them more on my channel, but really cool album, one that's also grown on me a lot over time. Dream Your Life Away, Vance Joy, just singer-songwriter, cool Australian guy, cool music there. A band that will probably divide a few people here, but The Drug in Me Is You by Falling in Reverse. I know a lot of people have sort of grown out of this album, you know, it's very much of the times and of the scenes and whatever, and you know, don't get me wrong, there is nostalgia with this album, and there are a few songs that maybe don't hold up and whatever, but overall I still think this is a fun and pretty cool album. Dude Ranch by one of my all-time favourite bands, Blink-182. Early stuff, so there were better albums to come, but still cool. Dying Is Your Latest Fashion by Escape the Fate. Now, this is when Ronnie Radke of Falling in Reverse was the frontman of Escape the Fate, and you know what? The same could be said as what I just said with The Drug in Me Is You. Like, they're very similar albums in my opinion. So yeah, probably just as good. Maybe I probably like Falling in Reverse just that little bit more, but whatever. The Earth Is a Black Hole by the band Teenage Wrist. This is such an underrated album. So good. Just grungy, punk, like cool shit. Yeah, really underrated. Getting back to Blink with probably their most iconic album, Enema of the State. I know a lot of people say this is their best album. For me, it's not. Still very good. Very iconic cover as well. It is an awesome album, but I reckon they have like maybe 3 albums better than this one. Entertainment, again by Waterparks. This is an album where, like, back in the day I was like, it's alright, like I would like to pick it up and it's okay, but the more and more I've listened to it, I'm like, you know what, it's actually not as bad as I remember it being, so that's good. Eternal Blue by Spiritbox. This is its little slip cover thing. Hang on. Yeah, the proper album artwork's under there, but everyone knows what that looks like, so I don't need to pull it the whole way out. But I like Spiritbox. I don't love them, but I think out of the 2 full-length albums that they've done so far, this is the go-to for myself. I think it's the cooler of the 2. This is an interesting one. An Evening with Silk Sonic. Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak together with their project Cold Silk Sonic. Yeah, like disco pop sort of fusion. Not what you would probably expect to see here, but yeah, I actually kind of like this album. A lot of fun. Everybody's Going to Heaven by Citizen. Honestly, this is one I don't listen to a full lot actually here on this shelf, so I don't have too many comments on it. It was just sort of when I was on a Citizen binge, I picked up this album. But every time I've listened to it, it's been like enjoyable enough. Everyone Loves You Once You Leave Them by the Amity Affliction. I feel like this was Amity's return to form after like sort of a experimental album with Misery. And I feel like a lot of people overlook that fact. Like, this is up there with like some of their better stuff, and yeah, like I said, I feel like a lot of people don't give it the praise for that. Yeah, it's really underrated. Everything Is Temporary, Between You and Me. I think now that Between You and Me have moved on, and you know they're either on a very long hiatus or officially broken up or whatever, but since then, just I look at this album sort of in a different light. It is very cool. The change between this album and their next one, Armageddon, is so big. I wouldn't say dramatic or drastic, but it is a big change. But looking at what it was, this is just as generic, in the nicest way, generic pop punk as you can get. Just very simple, but done so well and really cool. So, yeah. Fear by Stand Atlantic. I think this is a cool album. A lot of fun. It was my favourite of the year it came out. Looking back, I probably would have a different album now. But in the year that I did that video, yeah, it was my number 1. Another Waterparks here, Fandom. And I think I've said this plenty of times, this is like my favourite album by Waterparks. I think like the emotion and concepts on this album is really cool. But then, as always, just a fun variety of sounds as well. Fashionably Late by Falling in Reverse. Now, this is an album that I will say probably hasn't aged the best. I think there's still some fun moments on here, but a lot of it is corny and maybe hasn't held up the best. I think the best song is the title track. Undeniably a bop. Really cool. Spiritbox's EP album, The Fear of Fear. So short, 6 songs or something, but for what it is, it's not bad. Feel Something by Movements. Movements is just such an underrated band. Every album that they've done, banger. They're still yet to miss for me. I think they just do consistently cool projects, and this is one of them. I think this is actually their first album. One I briefly brought up earlier, A Fever You Can't Sweat Out by Panic at the Disco. This is their debut album, and like every time I listen to it, like always blows me away. I just forget how much I love this album. Like, it genuinely is so solid. Alright, I'm just going to move my chair back a little bit. Sorry, I'm crashing into things behind me. Where am I up to? Fine Line, Harry Styles. Again, maybe one that you probably didn't expect to see in here, but, you know, there's like some cool ranges of sound here. Yeah, like, you got some pop stuff like Watermelon Sugar. Golden's got like more of like an indie flair to it. She is like a pretty cool like rock song almost. This could be one of, if not, when people ask me what is my favorite album of all time, this is it. Folie à Deux, Fall Out Boy. I mean, I can't believe I almost said one of my favorite albums. Like, yeah, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna say this one. It's just so good. One of the newer albums on this run came out earlier this year, Forgiving Spree by Slowly Slowly. I spoke about just before how much I love Slowly Slowly, and this new album, no exception. They did a great job again. Cool shit. Frog Stomp by Silverchair. A very nostalgic album for myself. I still listen to it every now and then, but my dad used to have this on replay for me and my brother growing up. From Under the Cork Tree, Fall Out Boy. I mean, we just spoke about Fall Out Boy, and I said in shelf number 1, they're my favourite band, so yeah, really cool stuff. This is like more so earlier in their career where they're still sort of figuring out their sound, but man, a lot of home runs on here. Dance Dance, Sugar We're Going Down, yeah, some cool shit. Funhouse, I think this is the peak Pink album. Like, just, there isn't really a bad song on here, and the amount of fun and energy and charisma on this album, like, it's really solid actually. I know over time Pink has sort of turned into like this, what do they call her, like wine mum music, like rock for mums who love to drink wine, but I think genuinely Funhouse is a fun album. Glue by Boston Manor. Honestly, I think this is one of their weaker projects. Like, it has some really cool songs on here. I think Liquid is really awesome. Rat King, also a really good song, but overall the rest of it, doesn't reach the best of their discography. Gold by ABBA, Greatest Hits Collection. I spoke about this in the last shelf. I'm not massive on Greatest Hits collections, but again, when you just find an album where all the greatest hits literally are all the songs that you want to listen to, pick it up. Why not? The underrated Good Charlotte debut album, self-titled. A lot of people go with The Young and the Reckless as the best Good Charlotte album, but honestly, nostalgia plays into it a lot because I listened to this album more growing up, but even now, I just think this is the better of the two albums. The Great Depression by the band As It Is. One of the songs on this album, The Reaper, is actually the intro to my Shelf by Shelf series that I've made it. But yeah, just a really cool concept album, talking about someone who is going through depression, and it tells a whole story. Like, I won't waste too much time, just have a look at the back there. It goes through different stages, and each song represents a part of this character's story. It's just a really cool concept album. Great Heights and Nosedives by Rome. Just a cool little pop-punk project. Nice. Guns N' Roses, Greatest Hits. I'm actually not massive enough on Guns N' Roses to be picking up one of their traditional albums, but their Greatest Hits, again, just got all the songs that I really want, so that's fine. Guts, Olivia Rodrigo. Such a cool album, and I think the more time that we've had with this album, comparing it to her debut being Sour, it just really goes to show, this album genuinely is better. The more I've listened to Sour, the more it actually goes down for me, but Guts, in comparison, it holds up. Harry Styles, self-titled. Again, maybe not what you would expect for my collection and majority of the sounds and styles that you have here, but there's a good range here. Woman, for example, really cool rock sort of song. Kiwi as well. There's some songs on there where you go, fuck, there's some banging shit on here. Heaven Can Wait by Trash Boat. One of my favorite artworks over the past handful of years. How fucking sick is that? Cool album as well. Not their best, but yeah, definitely solid enough. Heaven and Hell, or Heaven X Hell by Sum 41. Their Swan album, I almost said Swan Song, but Swan album. This is the album that symbolized being the last of their careers. I feel like, this album's not great, but it's not a catastrophe to end a career on. It's not oh fuck, they really went out on a bomb. There's some decent stuff on there. Hello, It's You by Bearings. Yeah, an album that's grown on me a lot actually. Like it could be my new favorite Bearings album. I still think Blue in the Dark, the album that came before this one, is more consistent, but the highs on Hello, It's You is like really good. Here Comes Everybody by Spacey Jane. I was actually speaking about this album to someone the other day. I think it's Spacey Jane's best work. The Highlights by The Weeknd. So The Weeknd's greatest hits album. I know I just said before, like, I'm not massive on greatest hits albums, and so far that's like the fourth on this row, I think. But again, just exactly like what I said before. When you find a greatest hits album that has all the songs that you like, and you know nothing is absent from the track list that you have there, fuck it, why not? Hollywood's Bleeding by Post Malone. I know a lot of people would probably say Beer Bongs and Bentleys is his best work, but for me, Hollywood's Bleeding, bro. Like, genuinely solid album. Just a few more to go. Holy Fuck by Demi Lovato. This one does something for me. Like, the album is honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it is kind of cringe. There's some corny lyrics and some like weird shit going on, but it's almost just, I'm not sure if camp is the right word, but it's like teetering on that point that it's enjoyable. It's don't get me wrong, there actually genuinely are some good songs on there, but majority of that is like, as I said, I'm not sure if camp's the right word, but like, yeah. Homesick by the band A Day to Remember would probably be most people's go-to A Day to Remember album. I actually kind of think it's overrated. Now, you got to remember the difference between overrated and bad. I don't think it's a bad album at all. I think it's a very good album, but it's overrated. A lot of people just put it on such a high pedestal when realistically there could be like two A Day to Remember albums better than this one, maybe, potentially. And last one for this row, we have Body Jar and their album How It Works. I love this album artwork. Like, it maybe doesn't hold up over time, but I still love the imagery. When I say hold up over time, like, you know, back in the day when this came out, I think 2001, the year I was born, 2000. Like, everyone would be like, whoa, that's so like realistic and detailed. It's not anymore, but I don't know, it just reminds me of like Hellraiser. So yeah, cool. The album itself is kind of fun. Cool Australian band. All right, that is enough for shelf number 2. Got a handful of shelves left to go in the series, but hopefully you guys are enjoying it so far. Again, if you have any questions about any of these albums, or albums that you haven't seen, remember the albums are in alphabetical order, not the artists. But if you have any questions about albums that are here on the shelves or not, still free to let me know in the comments below. Any recommendations, I'll take them on board. And I'll see you for shelf number 3 soon enough, guys. Peace.